Okay, it's still February 3rd, 2010. This is part 2 of Multidimensional Me. If you missed the first part, go back and watch the first part where I let you know of my extraterrestrial guide showing himself to me. Now, this section is going to be about the energy work that occurred this week, which is also, or so I feel, in relation to me letting my guide and the energies know that I'm ready. I'm ready. I am so ready to experience myself wholly, fully, more multidimensionally. I'm ready to know the multidimensional aspects and beings that make up the totality of my individuality. And so, with this message to my guide and the energies, my guide showed himself to me, and I began experiencing massive, massive, massive energy work, energy clearing, probably to ready my mental body, energy body, and physical body for the change about to take place, for the entry of the ones I say I'm ready to know to come into my life experience. And so the first thing that happened is the energies started bringing in a euphoric vibration to me, and for days I experienced I call them bliss waves. We did toning where my sound was merged into their sound, which was just heavenly for days. I won't go into the individual sensations. I'll just say this. And then the work. So Sunday night, I think Sunday was the 1st, about 9 o'clock, all of a sudden, on a dime, just like that, I started experiencing these little cricks, these kinks, like when something's slightly out of place, down the entire right side of my body, in various places, not the whole line, but like I had one here in my neck, over here in my head, a couple points in my side, down my leg, feet, everything, the whole line. And I couldn't even take a deep breath in without feeling the discomfort, the pain of these kinks. Taking a deep breath in would highlight them all. And so it was quite uncomfortable. I lay down at about 10 o'clock to go to night, to call it a night. The Kundalini kicked in, and the electricity type vibrations started doing their work. That energy kept me up till about 1:30, where I fell off to sleep, and at least a half dozen junctures through the night, between 1:30 and 5:30, I would come awake for approximately 5 seconds into massive, massive energy work through my body. I could barely feel my body in the way that I normally feel my body. Traditionally, I feel my body first, and I can feel the energy running in certain places of my body. My body, the sensation of my body was gone, or completely transformed, completely different. The entire feeling of myself was as bubbles. It was delightful, don't get me wrong. It was bubbles just working everywhere. Now I could tell the vicinity that they were in. Like I could tell if they were up there in my head or in my side or things like that, but barely the prominent experience was of these bubbles, and very strong, not light, intense, high energy bubbles everywhere. I woke up the next day and it felt as though, I could tell the kinks were still there, but it felt lighter, and maybe that's because I had been worked on all night long. But then as I got up, they began exaggerating a lot. Very uncomfortable. I felt like I could not breathe. It was very uncomfortable when I did. The kinks down the right side of me were now spreading over onto the left side of me. Starting to get nauseous now, symptoms of fever, and this is all feeling. If you were to take my temperature, I likely would have had none. That night, I went to sleep, and I was led to go right off that night after about a half an hour of knowing that and feeling extreme comfort. Like I was laying there on the bed pad and just realizing how super comfortable I was there, and how super comfortable everything felt, the pillow and the blanket and the air and everything. So after taking note of this, I fall off to sleep, and just at one juncture in the night, I wake up to feel like I am being smashed in my right side with hockey sticks. If you've ever played hockey and watched them just sort of shoot the pucks, it felt like they were boom, boom, just huge. And it didn't hurt because, there's always sort of a buffer between me and the sensations, and that's Naru. Naru serves as a buffer so that these aren't actually felt as pain, but they were way strong and intense, and felt like I was being hit with something, like I was having these little explosions go off in my right side body. And this mimicked the points at which I were feeling the kinks during the day, in which I would feel a strong pain if I took any sort of breath in whatsoever. I woke up in the morning, and I think that leads us to today. They're still here today, but it's nearly gone. So again, I feel that this was clearing work in preparation for the extraterrestrial dimensions of my human consciousness, those extraterrestrial entities that help compose the totality of the individuality I belong to, the individuality I am, to come in.